Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Campaign 2, Episode 23, Talks Machina. Have bird, will travel. Wasn't as much into kiri as I was expecting. The second I saw that, I even said in the beginning of the episode, I figured it was either a new bird coming into the picture or that kiri was going to have something happen. But honestly, all we did was have a little discussion. Should we not keep kiri around? Is it dangerous? We kind of never really came to a conclusion. We kind of just went along with it and kept kiri. I think we should keep her. It, to me, is like if we lived in the world we live in now. Yes, you don't want a child going around with a group of people like that. But in this fantasy world where there is a war about to explode, I don't know if there's anybody that could protect her better, honestly. Where do we leave her? In one of these random towns where they could be immediately slaughtered or something? I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, she's very safe with us, even though we're constantly in danger. If we protect her and train her and teach her right, I feel like, yes, she'll grow up tough, but she'll grow up strong. I don't know. Let's jump into this. It's an hour long. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest. We started Eureka and a Korean game show called The Genius. Check it out. If not, here we go. Talks Machina, episode 23. Have bird, will travel.
Yeah, music plays during that.
Music plays during
comes
that.
back.
Since I
did not know that until last time I was here.
Oh, yeah.
That is loud.
We've all learned something today, but you know this.
Similar to the music that we normally hear out of that speaker that isn't coming out of there tonight.
Oh, gotcha.
It just started.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness, there's music.
Guys, so
I
excited.
like that voice. That for an NPC.
Oh, don't worry.
I just want to make sure everything's rolling good.
You know,
Wildmount, I'm sure.
before you get to your dumb questions, Brian, can I just jump in?
Ever
and
since
say
I've
that
done the
someone pointed out
resolution,
to
I feel
me,
like it's
recently
darker
that
too, but
no
kind
NPC,
of, I don't know.
Or PC for that matter, has ever had a French accent. Can you not do a French accent?
Of course I can.
Why have we not had a French accent?
Well, to be honest, I do not want to have every single type of dialect or accent explored if you haven't been all over the entire world. So perhaps there are places in the world that you have not been, or you
there's
have
a
not
reason.
encountered somebody who had to be considered.
That would make sense.
A real-world analogy to the French. I don't know.
What would be an analogy to the French?
So it's
don't know.
your
That's
job,
what
Sam,
it
to
is.
create a
It's
character that is French. Sam's pointing the fingers. I know it's all in good fun. But Sam's pointing the finger. Sam should make a character that's French. Then Matt will have to. Well, then Matt wouldn't have to talk.
Whitestone, probably.
Whitestone.
All right, that doesn't solve the
and
problem.
you guys have been in the Empire, and you haven't been too far into the Menagerie Coast.
Obviously,
so
Matt
we
can
shall
do it.
see if you ever find your way there.
The Menagerie
Apologies.
Coast. I want to
I think
find
you've
our way
proven
there.
he can do one.
Yes, I have.
I think we were both a little disappointed when he did it so well. We have some crit roll stats for this episode, courtesy of our friends
Crit
at
roll
Crit Roll
stats.
The Mighty Nine has now rolled 99 natural ones.
99.
So stop
a
here.
lot.
So stop
So
here.
don't roll any more after this point. We're good.
Natural
You
ones.
guys
There is a
realize
bunch.
This money isn't going to
at the end of
charity
that
anymore,
episode.
right? Like if
We're
you
holding
roll
out
one.
hope.
Yeah.
99.
Not currently has the lead with 22.
Boy.
Yeah, baby.
Is this all on the same dice?
22.
I only ever roll one die. Yeah.
I was
Even when you
even
need to roll
saying
a
how I
D6?
thought
No, I rolled-
statistically Matt or
It's really
Sam
weird,
rolled
right?
better.
Yeah, sure.
No, I
Sam's
only
got
ever
the most
rolled the
natural
1d20, and I think maybe I'm rolling so bad this campaign because of Laura.
Oh.
I feel like
Very
her bad
likely.
luck, or
Yeah.
her, I don't know, she's rubbing off on it
Or
somehow.
Mojo's.
Could
like,
be.
yeah. As of this
I
episode,
feel like he's
Mighty
almost
Nine has
afraid to
been
call it
traveling
something
together for over a month
mean
now.
and having everyone rip him in
pretty
the
cool.
comments.
Yeah.
That's some hardcore, fast-acting friendship time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've learned so much.
You guys are such a tight-knit family.
Yep. Yeah. I know, it's interesting, a lot of the questions we get going really deep into how characters feel about each other. Sometimes, got to remember, they've only known each other a month. So
Yeah.
in some ways, you know.
And some experiences
I've
you'll
been
bond
down that
faster, and
road.
some
We've
others you'll,
talked
be worried and
how
have to figure
I'm-
it out. That's kind of what's really fun.
I
about
mean,
this
I just don't
campaign is,
trust anybody
you know,
ever.
You guys are getting to see that ground floor.
But I
kind
feel
of,
like at some point,
relationship development. So
You just have some
it's
sort of
fascinating from my
respect
standpoint.
for
I
other people,
have to
regardless
remind
if
myself
you trust
to
them or
keep
not.
setting scenes and doing things.
Just
and
to
watching
avoid
you guys role play.
problems.
And,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Roll dice, make notes, you know.
It's been some good RP this season.
It's fun.
Last season too. No spoilers.
No.
I just love party conflict.
Yeah.
Like respectful party conflict.
Yeah.
There's a type of party conflict that's really not fun.
Right.
What I
in
just
games,
said.
But like whenever all the players on the same page and they're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exploring. the
I just said,
dynamic,
as long as
really
you are
interesting.
treating
Yeah.
it with
In
respect,
many cases lead to some of the
as
strongest,
crazy as that
you know,
might
friendships
sound.
down the road. Hopefully, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like
question.
there's
you
a
stay alive.
respectful way to not trust people. As
Kiri
funny as
has
that might
imitated
sound.
people 82 times.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
You don't have to be
So-
like, get
These
away, you piece
imitations are
of shit.
incredible, man.
Yep.
Just be like, I'd rather not do that.
Sam,
Thank
we're
you
going
very
to kick
much.
things off with a question for you from Lakanda Lawa. I said that
Lakan-
perfectly.
I feel like
Which
I
was a
want to see
greater
it.
achievement, Sam? Winning an Emmy or the D&D Beyond theme song video?
Ooh,
Oh, we don't see.
boy.
Oh, wait, there we go.
I would have to say the D&D Beyond theme
That could
song.
just be a name.
Because that was a thing that I just came up with, and then it became an anthem for a generation. If I may be completely honest.
Sure, sure. Sure, downplay it.
Is that?
I mean, I'm just being humble, but it is the song of our generation.
Yes, yes. It replaced Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball.
D&D Beyond
As the
is
song
the
of our
song of our
generation.
Thank you
generation.
for that.
Thank you. Yeah. Ooh, maybe we could
Winning
get
an
Miley
Emmy
Cyrus
or
on.
the D&D Beyond theme song
Anyway.
video.
Sure.
But no, my Emmy Award win is super duper awesome and a professional, a pinnacle achievement and bucket list, all that great stuff.
That's so bizarre to
But
me.
you know, the theme song was like,
'Cause
I
I
got
don't
to
think
write
of
it,
him
and then we got
as,
to
like,
make it. So that's even
Somebody
more
that'd be
fun.
competing
Yeah.
for an Emmy.
Sure,
I look at
turned
him
out
like
really good.
Yeah.
a goofy
Also,
little goblin.
To get the Emmy took like
Gnome.
two years of work on this one cartoon, but the D&D Beyond theme song took like 15, 20 minutes.
Dang.
So
Dang.
So time committed versus reward.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
overall it's a
way
better
I mean,
experience.
Yeah.
if
makes
you're gonna
sense.
look at it like that, yes.
Who knows? Maybe you'll get like a streamy for that or something.
ooh, they
That'd be
still have those?
Is that a
don't know. I
thing? A
think so,
streamy? I
probably.
never heard of
Is
it.
it Webby a
I
thing?
stopped getting invited.
It's got to be a
to those
streaming
here.
award,
Well,
but I've
streamers keep
never
emailing
heard
saying,
of it.
hey, pay us so we might pretend to give you an award.
Oh, really? That's how it works?
I don't
He's
know.
throwing streamy
Oh,
shade
man.
right now. I love
Yeah,
it.
No,
let's
man.
throw some streamy.
You
I
throwing
have a history with the streamies.
You do?
Long, tumultuous history, yeah.
What'd you do? Bring Taliesin with you one year?
Oh, hold on. That's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
No, my very
Those were a different
Please
types
tell
of
this
stream
story.
that they were doing.
I am
I worked on a
intrigued.
series like 10 years ago, and they invited us and had, so like we want to include your series in this huge montage of like the big series of the year. So I spent 3 days like rapidly editing down this clip for them to use and send it their way, and they brought us out there, and they're gonna have a whole announcement thing and cut it from the show.
Oh, dang.
Oh, no.
And
whoa.
so that was my first experience there.
Yeah.
And then after that, it turned into kind of a. Well, anyway, this is live on the internet. Hey guys,
He looked.
streamies are great.
No, I get it. Yeah, streamies are great. We like
He's
the
not a fan
Webbies
of the
better. I don't know if
streamies.
that's
I
okay.
never even heard of them.
Oh, yeah, Webbies? All right, we like the Webbies better. Hey, Matt.
Yes.
I've
Save
heard of the
yourself
Webbies.
from
I feel like I've heard
bringing
of the
down
Webbies.
the streamies by answering this question from Marone_Mac.
Taking
Did the
down
battle
the
with the Marrow
streamies.
play out to be more difficult than you had imagined? If
I-
so, how much of that was
It
due
did
to
to
not,
me.
not staying behind and the player's strategy?
Maybe to him
I
it
think to
wouldn't.
some degrees it played out pretty close to what I wanted.
Like he would have known, but I think
If not
they.
had been there, it probably would have been a little bit easier in that regard. But also, the placement of some of the characters led to some shifting moments, positive and negative. Like a lot of encounters you put together as a dungeon master, you're kind of hoping, engaging it'll be challenging, but not
The last
too crushing.
Marrow,
There
well,
were
it was
with
the
the lack of nut, it was a
shallow
little more challenging, I
priest,
guess,
was it?
to answer the question, than I expected at moments.
Yeah.
He wasn't positioned where he could hit
And there was even
everybody, and
moments
Matt got
there,
mad about that.
Where tactically, as everyone saw me pause, and I was like trying to think it
That's
over.
what I'm talking about.
I was taking a
Trying to figure out a way to
high
get
reward
everybody.
kind of maneuver there for it, but yeah, to answer the question, I'd say now that I think about it, probably a little harder than I originally intended, but mostly because Not wasn't present and
Because Not's the best.
yeah. And it also depends on when they showed up too.
Yeah.
Because having the two Marrow show up later in
In
the
all
battle,
honesty,
I don't
it's
know
not
where they're going to be at the moment when they show up.
because
with
Not
one
would have brought a whole new
combat
dynamic.
round,
But
so
what
that can
he's
end up
saying
being a
is,
really
if Not was
terrible
there, it
thing
might have
for the
boxed
other
everyone
side.
in more.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We're throwing things at the walls as Dungeon Masters and hope they work. So
Yeah. In this case, it did.
hopefully.
Cat just
Yeah.
hitting
I
the
love,
ground. You
by the
see
way,
him
can I
sitting
just
down
say,
there,
as a
see his
player
shadow.
who has played under you, and by that I mean under your body, for many years now, I love when the battle changes like halfway through or something, or when the map changes, or when new people come in, or where there's a carefully laid trap that doesn't spring till halfway through. That stuff's the best.
I
They're so good
agree.
at that.
And there's a lot of there's actually been a lot of battles that have
100%,
had
I agree as
traps
well.
laid up that nobody triggered.
Oh,
They're
really?
waiting for it. Everyone's just avoiding it. And I'm like, all right. But no, to me, it's you have quick combats. You have for more protracted combats to keep it interesting. You want to have
That's
almost
interesting
different
too.
moments, different.
I wish
beats
we
where
could
things
have a
change up and
behind-the-scenes
shift,
inner
where the players
monologue
feel like their
of
strategy
Matt
is
Mercer while
locked
they're
and
doing
they have this in the
things.
bag, and then something changes the
Like
dynamic entirely, and everyone
like
has to
something
rethink
like
what they
this,
had
like an
planned,
after
those
hours
keep things fresh and
behind
interesting.
the scenes.
But you can't do it too
what
often
they
because then it's
avoided.
almost expected. So you have to pick and choose the battles where you get to do that.
But for you, the combat itself has an arc, just like the story elements.
I try
do,
to,
right?
and it depends. Sometimes some battles get cleaned up a lot faster than I expected, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to, that's well played to you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
And some battles, strategically, things just go awry on the player side, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so sorry. So I'm just wiping up.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, is that I don't ever know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, until you get the
Yeah.
script on Thursday mornings.
Right. And then I have to get to proofread it and get my team together. That's great.
Check all the character name spelling. Sam, Meg M. Hannah says, where does Not's fear of water come from? Is it a goblin thing, or did she have a bad water experience similar to Ford's?
The water thing.
I think both.
I just invented while we were playing, but because I thought it would be fun. But in episodes since then, between episodes, I've gone back, and there is a backstory element thing that may eventually get revealed.
So he
about
created it
why,
on the fly?
She has a fear of water, but no. When I first said it on whatever early episode it was, I was like, no, that was just made. I just made that up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't know.
You have to write it into the backstory now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Matt,
Hey,
Rhetoric
is there
Storm
anything
says,
wrong
when a
with
player
that?
makes a
I don't
character
know if
choice
I've
to
come
avoid
across
combat,
that yet,
not
where they've
refusing
course
to swim through the
corrected
tunnel to help
and just
face the
recreated
marrow,
something out of
do you
nothing.
adjust
I'm
combat
assuming you could do
difficulty
that
to not
if you want.
penalize the other
Why wouldn't you,
players,
right?
or let it play out as designed?
Question.
Is it like frowned
I play
upon
as
that you
designed,
later
partially
on
'cause I've
change
designed
things
the encounter? I guess it depends on the
based on
experience the players
outcomes
do.
of other
If
things?
they're
I don't
new
know.
players,
I
and
don't
you-
care. I'm just
your
wondering if
experience
other
with them
people
has
care.
been kind of suboptimal strategy because they're still getting used to the system, or how they work together as a team. Then maybe you might want to adjust on the fly.
Look at Sam.
For me,
now that I know
also want
the
to show that
things
there
over
are
there,
consequences
it
for
looks like
making
he's
these
just
character
like
choices. I'm
looking
not saying
off
it's a
into the
bad
distance.
choice, but I don't want the players to feel like, well, it's fine, only 4 of us will go in because the combat will adjust for 4 players.
Yeah.
Because Not wasn't there, the battle
Got
got a
harder.
little harder than it would have
Yeah.
been normally.
I dig it as well. Yeah, you don't
but
want
that's making a
that.
character choice,
Oh, the team splits, so now
comes with,
I'll
and
make
so,
it easy on them. No,
So yeah, I wouldn't adjust it
We
for me
have to
personally,
play like it's
but
real life.
situationally. Situationally,
Yeah.
it may be helpful, or in some cases necessary, to not, detract from everyone having fun at the table.
Do you ever add extra loot at the end and then be like, oh, look what you missed out on, all this extra loot if you
Oh,
would've
they've
been
missed
there.
a lot of things.
no,
Yeah.
he's saying, do you
I don't tell them
change
what
it?
they missed usually.
Yeah.
I just tease them about it.
No. Brian
roll
wasn't asking
investigation
that.
rolls and
Brian, I
some
think, was saying,
boards
do you
or,
ever change it up after
Not
the
finding
fact?
secret pathways,
Like, there was
or hidden
5
chambers and
million
stuff.
gold over there.
Sam,
you
is there
fucked
any
up.
stuff that
Sometimes.
Thursday nights after the game it keeps you awake? Is there any stuff that you go, not necessarily like, oh, why did I sing so out of key tonight, or, but plot elements and stuff like that, where you roll too low on an insight check or some Disney? Do you ever go home thinking about the game and going what is that?
Yeah, of course, all
Yeah.
the time. I mean, Matt paints such a
I
good
would
picture. That
Definitely think so.
sometimes we know when we missed something, or we know that maybe we missed something, and it's always
after we
bothersome
watch
to,
this.
think
I go
about,
in the other room and I
what
think,
was
like,
that?
what the
That
frig
could've
is
been
that?
something. And a couple,
I
sometimes,
think about
it'll
things
be
that I
like a
can
more
find out
important
right now, 'cause
story
it's already
beat, or a
happened.
more important moment where it almost seems like he gives us more than one chance.
Yeah.
Like, he'll say, you roll a history check or something, and someone rolls low, and he's like, how about you roll a history check? And someone else rolled low, and everyone's like, well, I guess we just missed it then.
Yep.
That's
one of those things where
I mean,
it's
I
a piece
dig
of
it though.
information that might be widely known, and I'm given that opportunity. It's one of those like, you would probably be the most likely to know this.
Yeah.
All right, you didn't fail. Would anybody else be likely? You might.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those scenarios where I might adjust the DC based on if one person fails, maybe make it higher until eventually, if you all fail.
If we all fail, that's the worst.
You missed
Then
it.
you suck.
That's how it works. You know.
Yeah.
But only if it's like super acute knowledge. If it's general knowledge, and I try not to make you guys roll it too often. Sometimes it's just fun to make the roll happen, so you feel like, oh, that skill was useful.
Yeah.
When I would have just told you anyway. But
There are times I've thought that. There are
Maybe
times
he'll
where I'm
develop
like,
a tell eventually.
wouldn't they by
if the internet hasn't figured out my
deduction
tells by
itself
now, I
just
don't know what to
realize
tell you.
this?
Yeah, I'm on most of the
Like
message
the one
boards.
time where he
I've
was
been
like
deconstructed
recently,
over,
where he
like,
goes,
4
all the
years
guy had
now.
was
Yeah,
7
yeah.
silver,
Pay attention.
so
There's
he's
a lot
got
of
something
footage of
wrong
you.
with
I
him
bet
medically.
some clever programmer could like program like a Matt face to just
Don't put ideas.
Don't
to
put
just
ideas
like
in your head.
be a DM.
Yeah, like an AI.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's just a malfunctioning robot.
Sigil.
Oh my god, that would be creepy as hell. Like I just want. I'm shocked they haven't done anything yet with Sam's head already.
City is being
Them.
attacked.
The Talks Machina people are
definitely
usually on
attacked
top of that. I'm surprised they didn't take
Sam.
Sam's image and post it on something else over there in the corner on
wants
Ford.
to know, how does not feel...
Sorry.
Cuttlefish, triple three.
How does not feel about sitting out most of the fight with the Mero people and Caleb coming so close to death?
Not feels terrible about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, not what she wanted or expected, but she just didn't want to go in that water, man.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the water
I not feels awful about it. Sam Riegel feels great about it.
Yeah.
Because you know, I like not to like mess with my fellow players, but I love situations where it doesn't look like it's going well, or
Yeah.
That's
or we
what
make
I say all the
mistakes or
time.
fall into
Thank you.
traps or
I'm the
shoot
same
ourselves
way.
in the
I
foot.
want
love
to
all that
feel
stuff.
the risk.
But
I
yeah,
don't
of
want
course,
to
not feel
lose anybody,
terrible. And,
but I want to
and
think
guilty.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
for
as
sure.
fun
And then,
as if you just
the night
assume they're going to
before,
live
right?
through everything.
I'm doing my math right?
It's like,
She
what's
also
the
got
point of the
Caleb in
journey
trouble for the
if you know they're all going to make
the whole
it?
bowl thing. She had a
Even
rough
though I want
night.
them to all make it.
rough couple days.
Weekend.
Yeah,
Do you think it's going to affect her relationship with Caleb?
maybe. They haven't
Yeah.
really
That
talked
could-
about it.
It could really, I'm just thinking, you know, if I came close to death and one of my friends was in the corner eating beef jerky, I'd be.
It wasn't quite
Nutella
that,
Ice cream.
but
Great.
it still is
How
something.
much of adding Kiri was wanting to prove you could pull off Jester's accent?
Funnily enough, it wasn't at all. And then when the moment arose, I was like, you know what? Sure. I guess it does give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I'd originally wanted there to be a series of possible encounters. Like you've seen me do it when they're traveling and stuff, where I'll occasionally roll to see if they have any sort of weird encounter while they're on the road. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Last time we saw it when they came across the same
Bandits?
remaining bandits.
Yeah.
From
We
the
gotta
first
see them
time.
again and again and again, right? Please say they're coming back.
I
Monty Python
agree.
bit.
I want
We'll
to see them
see.
again now. I
We'll see if
didn't
we've had a
care
further
one way or the
impact on
other,
adjusting their course
but
in
now
life.
that they have come back, I want
Kiri
them
was
back.
one of those encounters that I'd kind of I wanted to throw a Kenku presence in the world because we haven't
Yeah.
had a chance to do that yet, as well as show the opportunity that a lot of creatures, a lot of people are, while the armies are moving towards the side of the war, certain people are moving away from it that aren't necessarily true members of the Empire.
Yeah.
And so Kiri was designed to be that, and I wanted to have a Kenku presence in there. I thought it'd be a fun role-playing encounter. But I expected them to half ignore it, and they almost did.
Yeah.
When they were hearing the sound.
Yeah,
in the
we
distance.
almost
It was
just
one of those,
left.
like, you don't know.
We
if this is
might
a
have
good or
never
bad
seen
sound. What are you
Kiri,
doing?
and then we could
Keep
have
moving.
abandoned
Okay, they'll
Kiri,
never
and then
know.
Kiri
But
at one
they
point
stuck with it.
went unconscious.
Now we have a
And
bird
now you have a
daughter.
bird. You have like a
We
6
several
hit point
times.
bird daughter.
6 hit points.
She's a baby practically.
I thought that she was a little hardier than that. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Somebody
I don't
in
know
the
what you
live
guys are
stream
gonna
said
do.
7.
We keep bringing her into battles.
I know.
Why?
Why?
That's terrible.
I know.
I
And I'm
feel
gonna take the blame.
we are
Good
making
point.
a strong
Wow.
baby girl.
Yeah, she shouldn't
bird.
be anywhere near any of Caleb's fire spells. That's for sure.
I think it's great.
Cone
I
spell?
think
Yeah,
we are
I grabbed
empowering
Kiri and
this
moved
young
her into a cage somewhere.
child
Dagger, though, and you
with
guys are teaching her a lot
skills
of very
That's true.
interesting,
so they could survive in this
Sure.
world.
She stabbed a lot of things.
Yep.
That's the
Dagger,
only thing that
dagger.
might
She's got the
be
t-shirt.
a little odd.
Oh,
She
man,
stabs
yeah,
a lot
no,
of things. They're dead things, but she
Kiri was
stabs
just,
a lot
I
of
thought it'd be a
things.
fun encounter, an
Curses
interesting way
a
of showing
lot.
kind of those aspects of,
Yelling out,
of the world
I kill,
around them.
fuck you, I kill
I
you,
didn't
stuff
expect
like
Kiri
that.
to be around with them this long if they didn't encounter her, and I have no idea what they're going to do with her.
Yeah.
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 You have not presented anyone worthy of taking a bird off our hands.
Exactly.
So we're
You
just
guys
gonna,
haven't really looked.
that's
we haven't
true.
really looked, but there hasn't been anybody I would think is
Who there
worthy.
is going to want to take a sweet little Kiri?
I mean, it's not
guess
a
we
newborn
gotta
baby.
And now
It
she's
won't
growing
need
on
as
us.
much
Now it's
care
almost
as
There's a
becoming
bird
like
orphanage right around the
sand
corner.
to
We
get
never
rid of
even
her.
You'll
looked.
never know. Barrel bed's
damn
behind
it.
you. Maybe Upper Duke has better luck, or just take her with you forever.
Upper Duke.
Upper Duke.
Upper Duke.
Raise.
We got some gnome
Oh my
rave about to
God.
blow up.
That's gonna be stuck in my head.
Don't say it Thursday instead of upper deck. Don't say Humperdinck instead of upper deck.
Humperdinck instead of Upper Deck. Upper Deck
Dude,
baseball
if you say
card
it during the
company.
stream, I'm gonna lose my shit. Oh,
Oh my
man.
God. Oh, I almost went out my nose.
I apologize. Let's give away some free shit.
Let's do that. Yes.
You guys sent in
Gift
some
of the
awesome
week.
gifts this week, but
Gift
like
of the week.
Sam's Emmy category, we can only choose one winner, and it's Sam.
Hi.
You won gift of the week.
Sam won
Did?
gift of the week.
Oh,
Congrats,
wow. I
man.
win everything.
Just kidding. Up first,
Amazing.
it's gift of the week.
They've been getting very good. Not that they were ever bad, but I feel like the last
Dagon
couple
question make it in? Did the
have
one
been
about
long
Dagon make it in? Okay,
and
good. All right.
extreme.
Our winner
Like,
for
just
episode 23
more,
of Campaign
like,
2 was sent in by
time-consuming.
James Earl. It's just a James Earl. AKA at just James Earl. Let's take a look.
just James Earl. I love it.
The bullet
As-
hits.
I like the font. Looks like a haunted
let me-
house
Let me
kind of.
stop it?
Don't.
Don't. Just
Keep
keep
hitting
hitting
it.
it.
Fire again. Oh,
Relentless endurance. That's what it was called. Or it comes
this.
back.
this is a long gift.
It is.
Gonna take a hit and pop into it.
Wake up already. Thanks.
You died 3 old times.
That didn't go the way I planned.
wow.
That was good.
That was,
Yeah,
I said
we
this
liked that one 'cause it
right
had a lot
before.
Yeah,
They
that
might not have
razzle
experienced
and
it yet, but the
dazzle.
last 2 or 3 episodes, the
Congrats
gifts
to you,
are
James
long,
Earl.
done
You
well.
won this.
but a lot longer. So if you haven't been on Talks Machina in a month or two,
Dalen's
Dalen's?
Dalen's?
Oh, it's Dalen.
Dalen's
It's
Dalen's
Dol.
Closet.
closet T-shirt and Critical Role
Who the hell's
pendant.
Dalen?
Yes.
Was it
Whoa,
supposed
look
to
at
be
that
Dolan?
zoom. That was
Is that supposed to be?
like
What is
a Kung Fu
Dalen?
picture.
Welcome.
I don't know what
You
Dalen's
can
closet is. Is it supposed to be
submit
Dolan?
your gifts
like
for our
Horace
weekly
and Dolan?
contest by emailing
I don't
them
know,
to
guys.
what
I
is
don't know
it,
about
Danny?
that one.
Submit at
Submit.
talksmachina.com.
Excellent. Moving on.
Do you have a mic over there now?
She does.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
finally.
How about that?
Finally.
Sam,
Yeah, yeah.
Not a Pyramid wants to know. What do you think about that, Max?
It's a little square.
Not a Pyramid? I don't get it. He doesn't get it. I don't either. After Kiri repeated part of Nott and Caleb's private conversation to the rest of the group,
Not a pyramid.
has Nott's opinion of her changed?
You mean before when Nott thought she was so adorably cute and the
I don't
cutest
think it
little
would, but maybe
innocent
because
little
not
child, but
is
now because of
petty.
that one thing, Nott wants to fucking kill her.
Yes, that's exactly what they're
I don't think
asking.
so.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now it is. I was gonna say because not.
She's a
I don't know if
kid.
I'd
She
even call it
doesn't know any
petty.
better.
Yeah.
Not
should
just.
have known better to there was a recording device in the room, you know?
Yeah.
She should have known better. But you know, it's hard to get used to this thing that
I
selectively repeats
honestly don't think of it.
certain information that only
It makes
is
it where we should
hilarious
just
or
start
well-timed.
telling each other
Yeah.
things. That's what I take
yeah,
out
it's
of
hard
it.
to live with soundboard.
Secrets cause
Yeah.
problems. Don't have
Someone doing
secrets.
this to you.
Lesson learned.
Or if you have
to live
secrets,
with the
don't talk
soundboard.
about them in front of a
Some of the
bird
best wisdom
child.
you'd come up with in
Yeah,
a while
yeah.
there.
Chris, how hard
Cancun.
is it? Pretty tough.
Sorry, Chris.
Matt, Caddy Wampus asks,
Wampus.
how stoked are you whenever someone says
Caddy
something dumb and/or
Wampus.
reveals secrets in front of Kiri?
Oh, it's the best. I have just a list of notes
Cattywampus.
Yeah.
of various things I get to pull from. It is very much a soundboard. You guys
Yeah.
are just filling my soundboard, and I
Yeah.
get to mess with them. So it's exciting.
That's
I have to stop myself
what
from
I would do.
being in the moment when
Yeah.
it hits me.
Take
I
the
have
best
to, when I'm paying
lines,
attention,
have them like
try
the
and listen for
soundboard ready to go.
Possible fun things to say, and then the other half I'm just absorbed in the story. So occasionally I'm like, oh wait, what did they say? I don't remember. Damn it. But no, it's been a blast.
Have you ever thought about hiring a scribe to sit under the table?
Literally
there
like
and
the
take
soundboards where they
furious
used to have like
notes for
Arnold
you?
Schwarzenegger.
You can just focus on making
Who's
sure
your
you get the
daddy?
rules right.
What does he do?
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have your leg warmers down there, and then
Sure.
he puts his feet in one of those things.
Ooh, the vibrating things. I love those
Yes.
from Sharper Image. From that was a
Sharper
thing.
Image, yeah.
Well, now everyone has it.
Hey,
That's pretty
anyone
funny,
out there
'cause
at
I know what
Sharper
he's talking
Image, if
about.
You want to sponsor?
That was when it was like
I don't think so.
expensive as
Sam,
hell, and you had to go to like
legally
Sharper
get us
Image
out
and
of
sit
what
in
I
the
just said
chairs
with
and
an
stuff.
answer to this
Now
question
you just
by
get that shit
Islander
I mean,
Scaper.
better quality
What
stuff.
was going through
elsewhere,
Knott's head
but-
when Kiri began repeating elements of her backstory?
Is Landerscaper maybe? Maybe they're a landscaper?
Why are you wasting time
Sorry.
questioning
I wasn't paying
how
any
I
attention.
pronounced the
What
name?
was
I
going through
obviously
Knott's
got
head
it.
when Kiri began
Island-
repeating elements of her backstory.
Island
What was going
Scaper.
through Knott's head was no, please stop.
Stop
don't,
immediately.
Don't say that word. No.
Was it enough information coming out that made you want to get aggressive at any point, or was that not in your?
I
was
almost
it
thought
like-
Knott did it
she
on
would ever get
purpose.
aggressive against
Because of the
little-
fact that
little Riri, Kiri.
not even said. I
but,
just felt like telling you the name of this person.
But
So I'm
no,
saying
it
the
was
name
a
of
little
this
panic.
person.
I don't think Knott
I
likes
thought
a
it
lot
was
of attention
almost
on
intentional.
herself in many circumstances, and that drew unnecessary attention and to her history. And I don't know if she loves everyone to know everything about her,
Yeah, interesting.
but it's going to come out sooner or later. So good job, Kiri. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
Good job.
That's Matt's way of pushing the story along. Hurry up, man, get it out.
Yeah, I applaud it. Yeah, again, as Sam Riegel, I think that was brilliant.
keep hearing
yeah,
X's
I love it.
behind
I love it.
It's half the fun.
What I was thinking about earlier, Matt,
Something comes and
Carrie
kills
Berry
me.
Gamer
You guys
says,
know
how
I
much
heard.
does Dagon influence your Kiri mannerisms? For
Oh, tremendously.
For those who don't know, Dagon is
don't know what Dagon
Matt and Marisha's bird.
Oh, I do know.
Well,
that.
you
Dagon.
would come
I
to
did not
any
know.
of
Did
the-
I don't remember
It was
that.
a reference to a movie or something.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not.
Yes, I know
Dagon.
the
Just a
bird.
reference to a member of their family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. She can be.
Where did they get the name Dagon? It's dragon without the
yeah,
R.
I mean, being a bird owner, you so careful. Being a bird owner, you pick up on so many mannerisms that you didn't before.
Yeah.
I've learned to love birds. You know, I didn't think I'd ever have a bird as a pet growing up. I was always a cat and dog family growing up, so it was like a bird. Okay, I guess. Birds are
we've
amazing.
had
I had no idea they had so
birds,
much personality.
not often,
so yeah,
though.
having Dagon for a while kind of helped me pick up on those mannerisms, and
Yeah.
that was part of the reason me picking the Kenku was.
I feel like we had a
fun
bird
opportunity to kind of
for
play
like
in that
a
space
couple
and see
years.
if I can, you know,
not long
utilize
enough
some
to
of that
remember
knowledge
much
in
though.
raising her.
Yeah, that's cool. I miss Dagon. Dagon's
We've had
great.
every type of animal and rodent,
Sam,
bearded
yeah.
dragons,
Wormstash Inc.
hamsters,
wants to know.
gerbils, fish,
Not let
tons
Bo
of
take
fish.
care of Caleb after
At
the troll
least a
fight.
bird or two.
Is she starting to
but
trust the
not
rest of the Mighty Nine more,
in over
or
a
is Bo
decade.
the exception since Caleb
We've
seemed
always
to
had
trust
cats
her with
and
his
dogs.
backstory?
I think that Bo is the exception, and Bo has weirdly proven herself to be trustworthy and hasn't spilled the beans about what was said to her, and has been keeping an eye on Caleb, it seems like, and has been protective and has been weirdly sensitive to him, even though sometimes she can be abrasive.
Yeah.
Sometimes, always.
Sometimes, yeah.
But still,
Every other
she not can tell it
Every
comes from a
other
place of
sentence.
caring, or at least, you know, teammate-ness.
Yeah. Teammateness.
Teammate-ness.
How proud are you as a DM to hear him say?
I almost was just gonna say, "Where's Jester?" And then I noticed it's floating in Trinket's arms above.
Still a few more
Brian.
miles to go before we're
Because
home.
usually it is constantly handled.
Any more?
No, sir. I want to see you give away this next thing.
All right. Well,
Fan
our next
art
giveaway is
of
for
the
you
week.
fans that create and send in incredible art from moments during critical roles. Fan art.
Fan art of the week, guys. Fan art of the week. Maybe when I'm using this resolution, I should do the camera different. I don't know. I feel like.
This week's
I'm
fan art
dark.
winner
I
was
feel
sent
like
in by
I'm way
Josh
darker.
Freeman, aka at
Josh
Obey
Freeman.
My Brain. Let's take a look.
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait,
Gonna go a little
wasn't this
lighter.
just like yesterday or today? This is so good.
Yeah, it was recent.
Oh my God, that is the Haunted Mansion.
Croc. Oh, man.
Did somebody say
Oh, I
something?
didn't notice Yasha's expression.
Oh, it's so good. And for those who haven't been to the Haunted Mansion
Oh, they did say.
or seen the Haunted Mansion art,
That
in
is
the Disney parks,
identical.
this is
I didn't even
directly
hear
a
him
reference to
say that.
Yes.
Really well
I
done.
know,
it's
because
so
I've seen
cool.
it. That is amazing. Especially the dead giveaway was the tightrope walker.
So great.
I immediately recognized the tightrope walker. And there's
So
the guy that
awesome.
gets thrown in the swamp, the gravestone.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
That turned out really well.
Amazing.
Thanks to everyone
all
who
have a party
submitted, and
for that
congrats
person,
to
'cause
you.
they're amazing.
You have won this
Yeah.
box Machina Origins comic signed by the
I
cast
want-
of
Wait,
Critical
signed?
Role.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's signed.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's beautiful.
God.
It's
I want the
life
picture
is-
of art
it
that
is-
woman,
spoilers.
was it whoever it
Just
was?
kidding.
I want it.
A reminder for those who submit, please include how you'd like to be credited if you win. And just a reminder that our giveaways are currently only available to people in the U.S., Canada, excluding Quebec. Moving on. This is beautiful.
It is
I may just read this now.
Okay, you want us to
read
just
it.
carry on?
Well, why don't you guys do some of the voices?
Carry
No,
on.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Right.
I apologize. I apologize.
Apologize.
She yelled at him. Brian,
Thursday
'cause
night,
they
that
don't
was so
want
great.
any-
Such a good little demo.
Anybody got time
Oh
for
my
that?
God.
Maybe I am too bright.
NFLD
Maybe I
nerd.
should do it like I originally do.
Travis
Travis.
has a question for you, Matt. Were you expecting
Maybe I
the party to
shouldn't mess with
immediately go
settings. There
after
are
the
reasons
Venom
for
Troll?
settings.
How close were they to dying if they didn't get slowed by Caleb?
Oh, that was, yeah, that would have been bad. For Ford especially. I mean, they would have taken it out, but they probably would have lost somebody.
I think we were very
Or,
close
I mean, very
to
close.
losing
It's one
somebody.
of the Venom
He
Troll
just
is one of
said
my
it.
favorite creatures in the new
Very close.
Tome of Foes because it has one of those essentially punishing to
making
melee
sure.
capabilities. And so it leads to a lot of very tactical combat for a party that is somewhat melee heavy like this one is.
Yeah.
This is a brand new monster?
It came out relatively
Yeah, it's
recently,
from Mordecai's Tomb of Foils.
Really?
Whatever you
Mordecai's
were calling
Tomb
it
of
for 3
Foils.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Mordecai's Room of Toes.
Room of Toes. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good monster.
I just want to
of
make sure my
toes.
food
The
is
Room
being
of Toes.
delivered.
Yeah. You need a toe? I can get you a toe.
I'm not
No,
having food delivered.
I wasn't sure if they were going to go back for it. You know, I was like,
was
well, they
checking
know it's
my
dangerous. They could probably sneak by. That I had prepared just in case. I didn't expect them to throw the dynamite in there and
Yeah.
blow up the area.
I swear I keep hearing something.
definitely,
That's why I keep turning around. I want to check my cameras, make sure no one's in my yard. No one is.
They did a good job of doing a lot of damage before it could get up into the fray.
Yeah.
In retrospect, we could have done so much better. Like, it was in a closed space. We could have trapped it in
Yeah.
there. We could have set the place on fire.
Yeah, there were
we
a lot of options.
We could have done all kinds of stuff. Even just that simple, like, that saran wrap trick where
Yeah.
where they just walk into
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That was easy.
We could have
Yeah,
done lots
anything,
of
but
things.
no, instead
Yeah.
I threw in the weakest stick of dynamite ever. And then we all scrambled around in the mud while it tried to kill us.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. He's not wrong, but it was entertaining.
I mean, it still took like
2?
well, no, well, you rolled 2. For that
Had
one.
others
And
come,
then, it was a
say
3d6
that
damage.
explosion
It was siege, so it did double damage to the
brought
tree
more
around it,
trolls.
which is how it
We
blew apart.
would have had a lot of
More
trouble.
damage to the tree and to me than the troll.
Equivalent to you in the troll.
Yeah. Just as shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam,
Yo, G.
drunk.
I said the
Drunk
same thing.
Graffinsky
I was
asked,
like,
which
how
is
much did the
stronger,
dynamite do to the
Knott's
troll?
love for
Because it
Caleb
didn't seem like it did a whole
or
lot.
Sam's love for Lee?
But we also don't know how
Oh,
strong
boy.
it is.
I would have to say Sam's love for Liam, because Liam kisses back.
Oh my god! Not love for Caleb.
It's so true, though. He
Or
does.
Sans.
I'd say Sam's love for Liam.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Liam like half my life now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All work,
like
no bay.
Yeah.
it almost seems like a trick question, but it's. I mean,
Matt, going
yeah.
back
Why
to
would
talking
your
about
why
Dynamite,
would your
actually,
characters
a few
care
minutes
more
ago,
for each
Brett
other
Bartlett says, with
than
Dynamite
the
being
real
introduced into
people
this campaign, do
who
you
have
think
been
you'll
friends
have to
forever?
prepare for your builds to
Maybe
be
if you hate
destroyed
each
more
other and you
often?
weren't friends.
Depends on if they get their hands on more of it and find it a viable means of, going after elements of the battlefield.
How rare is it? Have you talked about that yet?
No, I mean it's like any black powder-based materials are still relatively fresh. In fact, finding it in the mines, it's more a recent discovery for use for that purpose in blasting mines and everything beneath the ground. But it's out there.
We're in a town now with some guns.
If there was
It
a
could
town to
equally
find
be
some,
used
this would be the
against
one,
you.
probably. But also keep in mind there are dangers to using it and rolling poorly.
Dangers
and
to
attempting
using it.
Throw it.
Yeah. What if you
fuses
roll
can have
bad and you
radically
blow your
different,
arm off?
periods depending on how well you trim it or if you don't. So yeah, it's
What
kind of a
if
fun little
you misused it, like he's saying, and you
mini
literally
game, if
lose
you will,
an arm?
if they wanted to utilize
It could
it.
damage your
but then
whole
you have
game.
to think about what's the best way to open a combat if you wanted to. Is the dynamite more useful to throw in like they did with that battle,
Look
or
at
is it more
Lost.
better? Is it better for outside
We
of combat
lost
uses?
many characters due
And
to
even then,
dynamite
how expensive is it?
mishandling.
Yeah,
Just by
how many people want to
mishandling
give
it,
away
we
if
lost
it's
several
functional
people.
Use. We'll see.
Yeah. Is it the kind where if you shake it, it explodes? So you got to be careful when you're traveling.
It sweats.
There's a kind of dynamite where you shake it and it
It's
explodes.
not.
What?
I mean,
The old shaky explosion
I
dynamite.
think Brian is saying
Sam,
what I'm explaining.
Yes, sir.
It
Running
sweats,
Wolf
and then the
19
nitroglycerin
does not secretly wish she could tell
explodes.
Caleb
from
everything
shaking.
that's
I guess
going
from
on with
shaking
her.
it, but like
For sure she does.
whatever.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Is it a timing thing, or is it more of you're still letting the relationship build?
Well, a lot of times on our show, it's finding a downtime
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
where everyone isn't making dick or drug jokes
Yeah.
that we can actually just have a serious conversation. But yeah, just finding a quiet moment, a quiet time. But yeah, I think Nod would tell Caleb whatever he asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's been some
I would agree with
moments
that.
that they've had together where Caleb just hasn't asked anything.
Interesting.
I feel like Not
Caleb needs
is
to do some more
brutally
inquiring.
honest,
Some
almost to a
Marisha
fault.
Digging.
Yeah.
Like might say things she
Yeah.
doesn't even
That's
want
an
to say or
inquisitive monk.
tell, but she
That
just
is.
will.
wants
'cause
to know everything,
Yep.
and I love her for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's part of her character. I love
Yeah.
it. It's been really fun to have a character that just like,
Yeah.
yo, tell me.
What's up with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you get that scar? I don't want to talk about it. Bullshit, talk about it. Okay.
Why's your face like that? Why does your face look like that? Matt,
Yes.
Fire and Ice wants to know, what made you decide to play the forward patron scenes regarding the cat's eye in front of all the players instead of just one-on-one?
Because for the storytelling standpoint, it was more visceral for me to have it happen immediately in the moment as opposed to having to go through the process, telling everyone to leave and come back. And as we're going along with the story, those mystery moments, I'm picking and choosing.
Yeah.
Because now the players have an inkling that things are going on between different characters, and unless it's really important information for that character and solely that character to know, I don't see the harm in letting other players be present and trusting that they can role play,
I get
not
it.
metagame their character knowledge of that scenario.
Yeah.
So I pick and choose. Earlier in the
I
campaign,
mean,
it
but
was
there's
kind
a
of-
huge
'cause all the
difference
characters were mystery
between
to each other,
metagaming,
but now they're all learning a
something
little bits
you've
about each other, and it's starting to
overheard
open up a
and
little bit. It's
seeing
not as necessary.
a cat's
in
eye
some
jammed into the
Yeah.
chest of a man
and for that
or an orc.
moment, I
half
thought it was more fun to
orc.
kind of play it up because it was them. It was him having this vision and them also watching him just kind of space out and then take this thing and jam it into his abdomen.
Yeah.
It made for a good.
So,
visceral
I mean, that's on
smash
another
cut to
level
the party
now.
around going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We
I
definitely
imagine
all
you
have a
to keep
different
track of
perception
everyone's
of
backstory
Ford.
and
We
obviously
might not,
coming
but
up with
they
all the
do,
different
as
threads and
having
stuff within
seen
the
it.
campaign. How big a part of your process is that?
For
When
this
you're- when you're-
group, it's pretty
yeah.
big. Only because they write such great characters, and I want elements of those, those stories to affect the story they play through.
Yeah.
And some will come to more fruition more recently. Others will be sometimes long game. There are some backstories that I don't think will, really, not even say resolve, but come to a head until probably much later in the campaign, just by the nature of their story.
Yeah.
But it excites me to.
I would
drop
assume
threads as
most
we
of
go.
them. I would
It
assume
engages
most,
and ties
especially
their experience
Ford.
to the world that I've built, so they don't.
We
feel
might
this
not
entirely
know
separate,
fully what's
removed
going on
entity.
for a while.
And to me, it always feels to the player that the stakes are higher when the story that they wrote and that they're living is affecting the active world around them. That doesn't mean you have to build the story entirely around them, but give the option for them to resolve elements of character backstory. Give them the option to feel like that they are part of this world that's living and breathing.
Yeah.
And if they choose to pursue threads, let them carry it and see where it goes. And if not,
Well put,
drop
as always.
little hints
Matt
about
Mercer,
how the elements of
man
their story
many
might be
words.
damaging, or at least creating more mystery about where they came from.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a unique balance to try and like focus on the story I want to tell and where they're going, and then lay out the tracks in front of them based on the choices they make and the direction they go, but also figuring out when, based on their travel, would be a good time to drop a thread and be like, you could possibly look into this.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of these characters I've had moments where I'm like, ooh, I could bring this thing, I could bring this thing, I could bring this thing in, and I'm like,
when the bandits attacked us in this last episode, I thought they were some people that knew Molly specifically.
Part of that story.
And we were going to get something else, and Matt was like, "Thank you for approaching."
There's a lot going on up here.
the card.
I'm probably going to go crazy.
But then it ended up being cool
eventually,
anyway.
In a couple years, yeah.
We'll squeeze every dollar out of you that we can before you do, Matt.
That's why we're friends, Brian. I know I can trust you.
Sam.
Yo.
Paxford asks, how do you feel about Molly accepting the bandits' apologies even after they damaged not so much?
I mean, is that what happened?
You
Molly
kinda.
just said okay. Well, what are we gonna do?
Molly-
Kill them?
Molly said, which one did you hurt? And they were like, the little goblin girl. And he was like, that's fine.
Yeah, not quite like that.
We're
But
not gonna kill them all. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I guess we could.
even
have,
though
I
they
suppose.
were
but
going
they just
to
seem
kill
so
you,
dumb.
Yeah.
They
I
should just
agree.
go.
We should have done what we did,
just
but
go.
They should just
they
be
had
fine
full
and just
intentions of
go.
killing
They're
Knot
too
and
dumb to
robbing
hurt.
everybody.
So
They're too
I
dumb
think
to
it's
hurt.
okay.
Exactly.
I mean,
I
if
feel
left up to Nod,
it's
I'm
crazy
sure
that I even
she
feel
would have
bad
had
for them.
Dealt
But that's how dumb
harsher
they are.
Punishment, but it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. They're harmless.
They may have killed all of
Too
us
dumb
and
to be
stole all our
dangerous.
shit, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, it's you again.
What
Our
they say about
bad."
me around here.
Shot Knot a couple
Zoondox
times.
has a question for you, Matt. Did the party's excitement for Humperdinck? I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that.
Humperdinck.
Did the party's excitement for Humperdinck influence your design of the town, or did you know what kind of place it would be before they ever heard the name?
I knew what kind of place it would be, loosely fleshed out.
Yeah.
Then as we've played through the campaign, I'm fleshing out different towns and stuff. So once
I
they
barely
really
remembered
kind of
it
let
even
known that
spoken, Humperdinck.
This is a place we would like to eventually go. As a DM, you take that hint and begin fleshing that out even
Fleshing
further,
that
because that seems like a
world
very
out.
possible future destination. So I had a loose idea of what I wanted it to be, and then as they began to hone in on that as an eventual destination, I began to flesh it out further and further.
Has there been a time when they said, "Oh, we want to go here," and you haven't had time to really flesh it out, and then you've just done it on the spot, describing where they end up?
In this campaign, not so much, because
Yeah.
thankfully they're at the speed of foot and horse.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
So earlier campaigns, it's a lot easier to develop based on the pace they're going.
But when you're bamfing later on,
Yeah, as you saw in the end of the last campaign, when they can just teleport around the world, then it becomes a real issue of okay, well, you're going there. Let's see what comes up. That's happened a number of times in the last campaign.
Do you just start describing cities from movies you've seen? Or there's a yellow brick road, and
Yeah.
there's
I mean,
a lot
you
of
could
lollipops
easily
and,
just
little-
throw things at people.
Little lollipop guild
Depending on
comes up
how
to you,
far
and-
it goes.
Essentially, I
a
mean,
bunch of newspaper boys, and they're all singing with hats.
that's kind of how it is. Like
Just have it get ridiculous.
And for people who are DMing in a similar situation who are watching this, like,
I
make a bold
wanna
choice
know-
that makes it stand out against other places they've been.
Where was I when Bo, or did Bo just know that it was a
can be
known
very
party
basic
place?
town, but have something about it
Humperdinck.
that makes it unique or different from other
Yeah.
destinations they've traveled past, whether it be a conflict that's happening, or a unique part of the social structure, or some
Raver gnomes.
or Raver gnomes.
Raver
that works
gnomes,
too.
that's what I
Oh
wanna
my
know.
God, I can't wait for this.
And Bo knew, and then when we checked her on it,
But
she
yeah,
was like
in those
telling the
situations,
truth,
you just kind
and
of make it up as you
clearly
go.
is.
You instinctually make choices based on what makes sense for where they are. and you just improvise the rest of it. It's reactionary, honestly. Like, ask the players, like, well, what are you looking for? Well, we're in the city. Do you see any inns or taverns around? You can be like, you do. You see these two taverns nearby. They seem to be competing, and they have people on both sides that are staring each other down and are trying to, poach customers from the other side.
Yeah.
That is all reactionary. Those taverns didn't exist until the players said they're looking for a tavern.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in that space where you're like, I don't know what to tell them, don't be afraid to ask the players what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And then yes
Build
and
off that.
based on what they're requesting or seeking.
Right.
And then you just kind of let it unfurl. It's like watching the fog.
All right.
A fog of war slowly dissipate as you're
See,
creating
in my
it together
mind, I
with the
wasn't
party.
sure
Like,
if-
it's one of my favorite moments in DMing actually is when
I know you guys have
you're,
told me this isn't the
bereft
case,
of
but
any
just to
real
put it
preparation
simply,
and
I
you're
wasn't sure if
having
people
to make it up on
frowned
the
on
spot
things like that.
and
Like,
do so with a confidence.
no, I wanted
that,
you to
does
already
not
have something
reveal
established, not
your absolute
base it off of
insecurity
my
and
likes or
terror in the moment,
dislikes
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
You do a good job of hiding it.
But I've pretty much assumed
until the
this at
break
this
when you
point.
start sweating,
Yeah,
crying,
sobbing in the
throwing
corner.
shit at
Right.
Max and everybody.
Vomiting everywhere.
Vomiting everywhere.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yes.
JTIF
Yes.
Games says the following.
J.
Save Brian
Tiff
from
Game.
thinking of a segue with an answer to this question. Do you ever practice for your ads ahead of time, or do you just write the script and wing it?
Practice for my ad, like say it out loud. I guess he means do I?
Yeah, like
do I
your
like
D&D
read it out
Beyond
loud?
ads.
I would
mean,
think
for the
yes.
D&D Beyond theme song or things where it's like I have to perform something. Yeah, I'll rehearse it in my head or in the
I would
car or
do-
whatever. A
I
couple
think
Do you
they're
times.
ever
asking if you write
practice
them
for your
ahead of
ads
time or
ahead
if you
of
come
time?
up with them on the
I
spot.
would think
Oh,
you
yeah,
couldn't
I
get out of
definitely
your
write
mind.
them ahead
You
of
I
definitely
would,
write
if
them.
somebody
I write
said,
them
"Hey,
ahead of time.
could you come up with something for
In the
this?"
car,
I think
sometimes
I would
the day
immediately go
of,
into
usually like well,
practice
not usually.
mode, if you
Sometimes
want to
the
call it
day
that.
of at like lunch, because I have a 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock break that day.
Yeah.
But then recently I've been trying to do it on like Tuesday or Monday nights, just so I don't have to like stress about it during the day on Thursday. So like, for instance, the one for this week I wrote today,
Whoa.
and I think that JTIF Games will like it
Oh,
because
what is
it
it?
kind of is about what his question is.
Oh, interesting. Ooh, interesting.
Look at that.
Interesting.
Now I can't wait.
Oracle
I'm
shit.
curious
There's
now.
a lot of people who weren't going to watch this Thursday, but now they are.
Where I had
the
no
mystery.
desire until
Yep.
he just spoke those words.
Matt,
JTIF
Sketty on
Gaming,
Toast has
or
a
Games,
question
was it
about
Games?
one of the, definitely the standout NPCs of the campaign so far. The gentleman is one of the most interesting characters I've seen from Critical Role. Was there any specific inspiration behind him? Jeff Goldblum.
Gilbert
It's one of the most
Gottfried.
interesting I've seen from Critical Role.
Please.
I mean,
go.
hey, you're up to
he-
your own.
No, I wouldn't say
choices.
the specific like.
I would say he's
character.
nothing
I wanted to.
that crazy out
I wanted
of
to
the
create a
ordinary.
character that is.
I dig
who
him.
works outside of the law.
I dig him, but I feel like
isn't an
that would be
archetypical
kind of more
villainous
typical.
thief lord. You know, an individual
Got about
who's
10
an overall
minutes left.
businessman, and is does what it takes to make sure his business runs smoothly. Has an eye open for opportunity and talented individuals and bringing them into the fold. And yeah, it's that. It was. And then from there, I wanted to make him seem unique against the world too. It's not just make him a typical human thief, you know, or an underbelly boss. And so that was kind of where the ideas of his
sweaty.
lineage.
Real sweaty.
Real sweaty guy.
Yeah.
We've
and
talked
his
about that too.
personality. Yeah, I wanted to be
But I don't-
charismatic, but also domineering.
I don't know if it's sweat.
You know, very, very welcoming
more
until
so
you
that
begin to
he's
cross
just-
the threshold of comfort
I don't know.
or a line
I don't know what you
of,
call it. I guess it's
of
sweat.
personal business aesthetic, in which case he'll put you right back in your place
We've
and make
talked
sure you
about this
know
before.
who's
So
in
you
charge.
are with me.
But then yesterday we were talking about how
where I
he's a
got the inspiration.
Genasi,
There it
and
is.
it's like
Yeah.
a watertight person.
Matt constantly going, and that's far enough.
That's it. Okay, just stay put, Brian.
That's a great answer. Sam, this question comes from Finkel is Einhorn, 55.
Ace Ventura,
Ace Ventura, right.
of course.
Does not
Finkel
still think her old tribe is a
is
threat
Einhorn.
to
What
her
is
now that she's
55 though? Is
obviously
that his
grown in
number?
power and has made some equally powerful friends. Is that old group still
I
a
feel like
threat to her?
55 has to
I
be
don't.
Finkel.
I mean, I think
Ray
she
Finkel's number or something.
she is reluctant to go confront them because that's a scary thing to like go home. But yeah, I think she feels a little bit more prepared now that she has some allies and some more fighting ability and stuff like
but what are you
that.
gonna do?
In case things go
Slaughter
badly.
your own tribe? Why even go
But
back
I
if
think
that's
she's just
a
hesitant
possibility?
to confront old demons and old memories
I mean, to
like
do
that,
that,
for all kinds of
if
different
it's for
reasons,
her,
not just because
if
she's
not
like,
feels she
physically
has to do
scared,
that,
Yeah.
by all means.
But
I feel like it's unnecessary. It's just
a lot to handle. But
I would
yeah,
just-
I'm
I'm the type
eager to
person, like,
see, I assume
unless I got a
that
reason to go
confrontation
back,
will
I'm
happen
good.
at some point, or at least I would love it if it did. So
Yeah.
like, did I
eager
leave
for
some
that.
shit
I'm eager
behind?
for more of
Is there
Not's
someone there
backstory
that
for
I have
sure.
to smack around
I'm
because
eager
they
to
don't
see if it comes about naturally,
realize
or
what they
not
did? I
takes the
mean-
charge to want to pursue it. That's the thing too, is like a lot of these character backstories are open for them to pursue if they ever feel the character need is there. And depending on when they engage with it, it'll change kind of the circumstances of how it comes about.
Yeah, we just
So-
went by my old town on
Yeah.
the road, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe we should detour now, but there's a timetable. We have to complete our mission within a month, and it's going to take a week
I
or
feel
two
like
just to
we're
get
way
up
ahead of
there,
things,
and
though.
so
Yeah.
I was like,
But I
"No,
mean,
maybe
no,
we'll
he's
just
right.
later
What if
stay
we
on
run
the
into a
path."
problem? Don't
On the
want to
way
cut it
back.
too
Yeah,
close.
On the way back.
On the
Yeah.
red
On the
go.
way back,
Yeah. We're off
if
the
we
road.
know we're
Yeah.
already done,
my
we got a
laundry,
week to
Kill
spare.
my
Yeah.
goblin tribe.
Kill your goblin
See
tribe.
if there's any mail.
I mean, if I'm on the east side already.
Yeah. Might as well.
We
Pick
are
up some
going
taffy.
east.
Yeah.
Matt, Atomic Robo Tesla wants to know.
Wow.
Atomic
pretty good,
Robo
right?
Tesla. Love it.
Is Wildmount's gun technology partially developed from Percy's achievements shared by Ripley in C1? Or did these developments independently parallel in a kill things in a crazy dangerous manner?
Ripley
zeitgeist?
from Campaign 1. I
No,
remember her.
the firearms are a direct result of Percy creating them in the last
Awesome.
campaign.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it was depending on whenever they decided to engage Ripley. If they had stopped Ripley in Whitestone originally and didn't let her escape, it led to the whole confrontation later. And by then, she had been out and about and been able to disseminate the plans.
I remember
for it and
Ripley
actually
well
sell off some weaponry
from the animated.
and she did so in places of heavy trade, Marquette specifically. So at that point, the Pandora's box was open.
there.
But the last campaign, it was very, very minuscule. It was just a handful of designs and actual created firearms. 20 years later now, the technology exists, but the materials required and the knowledge to properly create the necessary components to
How
create a
interesting
firearm
that is. See, some
are still
questions get-
very difficult to amass or do properly on a larger scale, which is why it's what you've seen, the little times you've seen in Wildmount, they're usually only for elements of the military, and like you saw in Hupperduke,
Yeah.
since that's where largely it's created within the Empire,
Yeah.
they have it within their own local Towns Guard or Crowns Guard. But yeah, no, it's a direct result of Percy's story and his inability to keep the technology under wraps.
Yeah. On a related note, someone asked, D. Kohler asked, how much joy do you get from Talison's face every time you bring up the fact that firearms are present in Wildmount?
Oh, it makes me so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It's one of the more subtle
Talison's
consequences of the
character,
last campaign that's
Percival
creeping into the current one.
Derulo.
So yeah, it brings me much joy.
Yeah, I bet.
This is
It's a lot
that
better
is
than
how it all
vicious
started.
mockery.
So I am quite familiar with Percy.
Watching him just brain melt
right
in the middle
there.
of that last week was amazing.
I feel like we're almost
Yeah.
done with this. There might be one more question left.
Sometimes you come out of the gate
I'm
and
gonna do
realize
a
you
new
didn't put your
thing
pants
with
on,
After Hours
Just-
Alpha
Committed
Talk.
to it
He did.
so
I'm gonna go
hard.
right
Damn
into
right. If
it
there's anything we've learned
after
as
my
performers,
exit.
it doesn't matter if you're doing a good
So
job.
we're gonna see how it is if
Yeah.
I do it
You
like
finish and
every
walk
week
away.
It's like
instead
trying to
of the
figure out
recap
Cannibal
way.
Corpse lyrics.
I don't know. I'm gonna try something
Right,
new.
Chris? Yeah.
Might be one more question.
Sam, we've only got time for one more question, and it's going to come from Lee574. Do you miss giving inspiration as a bard at all, as far as the songs and limericks, etc.?
Of course I do.
I mean, yeah.
definitely miss giving inspiration.
Sam
And,
went from inspirational and never
I have
shutting up to
insecurities
very
about this. I
chaotic.
feel like I
Also
want to be
kinda-
able to do more on the battlefield other than just shoot crossbow bolts. So I'm always on the lookout for other things I can do. I love that Tasha's hideous laughter.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep on looking for other things I can do to be more useful to crew. Although I realize I am a damage dealer and I should keep dealing damage.
I mean, that is the character you built.
Yes.
That's helpful.
But I
Which
think
I
Arcane
did.
Trickster was a good path for you if that's what you really want.
I still dig the way Sam's going with the character. Don't get me wrong. Just way different than Scanlan in my mind.
Even at the higher levels.
Yeah.
If you can find a creature that has either really bad luck or a low wisdom, like, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
For like a level 1 spell, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I do miss giving inspiration. It's the ultimate go-to.
See, I'm not big with that. Like a bard
Sure.
giving inspiration to people, I'm not all about that. I dig watching it,
Seems like
but I wouldn't want to
seems
be
like the
that.
most
I wouldn't
imminent
miss
path
that.
for
I'd
her.
want to
It's
be
like a-
not.
Yeah,
I'd want to be running in there,
What's-
sneak
was it
attack,
-3?
crossbowing.
That'd be.
Yeah.
I think you take inspiration away from people. I think is how it
Yeah,
works.
you
Like they,
suck
Maybe
the
they grade on a curve. I'll be okay.
Maybe you could suck the inspiration from someone and then give it to someone else, you know?
yeah, roll a d6 and lower your attack roll by that much.
Yeah.
Reverse inspiration.
Reverse, yeah.
Reverse inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah.
Perfect.
Matt, I'm going to sneak this one in here.
Okay.
Anari Joker asks, what's your favorite Mighty Nein voice to mimic as Kiri?
Oh man. Well,
Favorite to mimic. Ford.
partially Jester because it's
Damn it.
just
That was my next.
funny.
I was going to say Jester.
Y'all made fun of me for it.
I was going to say Jester, but he talked about it earlier, and I didn't think he'd say
Not
it.
always fun because it's just shrill and ridiculous.
Ford is.
I've actually for like the
Caleb.
handful, like 1 or 2, I've done Ford.
Ford has been good.
Ford.
But he did do
Funny coming out
Caleb
of Kiri.
more than I remember in the last one.
Well, I don't know about that. You know,
Yeah.
just sort of making sure it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are my favorites. I think.
Yeah.
Ford,
Someone
I
had a
would think,
question
would be
tonight.
up
We didn't
there.
get to it, but about if the not voice is hard on your throat.
Not at all.
It's not?
No, it's not at all.
Yeah.
It's mostly falsetto, so it doesn't really hurt at all.
And that's what you usually talk in off camera anyway.
Yes, I sound like Mike Tyson all the time.
Falsetto. I've heard that word before. I've heard falsetto before, but I could not tell you what one means over the other. I'm assuming
that's all the time
falsetto's
we
high
have for
pitched.
tonight. Stick around for Talks Machina after this.
Yeah.
I would like to hashtag thank my guest, courtesy this week of @remix mist, RX mist,
Well done.
Stabby Crow voicer.
Okay.
That's good.
Stabby Crow voicer.
Boomstick, non-lethal.
Boomstick non.
And I'm your host, Projectile Tears Cost Extra.
Projectile
episode.
Tears Cost
Critical Role
Extra.
Campaign 2.
Brian
episode
and his names. I
24
do
airs
enjoy
this
it.
week.
I'm not going to lie.
24 already.
It's a little awkward
Yeah.
sometimes, but I'm
Almost
okay
a
with it.
syndication, guys.
Almost syndication.
Until then, please don't forget to love each other, and don't worry, it's almost Thursday. Stay turned, my friends.
Stay turned. All right, guys, that was the end of Talks Machina. I said it during the episode, but in case you didn't hear, I'm going to do After Hours Alpha Talk a little differently. I'm going to jump right into it after this, and I'm going to do each Alpha Talk after I watch the episodes and do my closing remarks, so to speak. I'm going to see if it works better that way. Although I do enjoy going back at the end of the month and getting the recap on everything, I have to go back in and find the breaks and then piece it all back together. It takes a while to do it all. And it's not that annoying. And I do enjoy the recap, but I'm seeing how it will flow if I do it this way. I've never done it this way, so we're going to find out. So if you see my shirt is the same, it's because I did After Hours like this for the month. I'm going to do it for episode 23, 24, 25, 26. At the end of the month of August, we're going to have our marathon of the 4, and you'll see me. I'm still going to have to chop them all together and edit them that way. But either way, that was a good episode of Talks Machina. I enjoyed it. Matt Mercer, Sam Riegel, 2 of my favorites. There's no one I dislike. I thought it was interesting, though, that we chose them, I guess because the episode was Have Bird Will Travel. It's Kiri, which is Matt Mercer, so I guess that did make sense. It could have been pretty much anyone else, I guess, for the second part, but Sam Riegel's one of my favorites. Hasn't been too front and center, I feel like. She was sidelined for the Marrow battle, which is what was spoken of a bit, and we talked a bit about Kiri. What are we going to do with Kiri? Not is expressing how she thinks something should be done, but no one's saying anything better. And Not was saying what I was saying. Not was saying we have not yet come across a family that is worthy enough. Matt said you're not really looking, but whether we look or not, I feel like during a time of war, we are taking chances with anybody. What if we trust some people? Some random people were like, they seem like good people, and they eat the friggin' kid. As crazy as that sounds, what if they're like starving times of war and these people are crazy bird children eating people? I don't know. I don't trust anybody. Even if we come across good ones, I would want to keep Kiri, train her as our own, make her strong, and keep our little birdie friend, our Kenku. But I'm jumping into Alpha Talk. I want to see what's up with that. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me, dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube, hundreds of hours of Campaign 2 at this point. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Eureka just started. Go check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.